I think this is supposed to. Thank you. It's from the show.
Oh, I figured it was.
I only cry to wash away the blood.
Oh. Is that what it says?
Yeah. Anti-Icon 2023, dude. Fucking rat. It's like the fucking Krabby Patty.
Yeah.
That episode.
Exactly. It's every verse that Ruby has ever.
Yep.
Ruby the Cherry.
They killed.
I bet.
It was good. All right. I literally I kept just making a queue of all of the songs for this episode, rather than listening to the full playlist again. I was like, all right. Kept doing a queue, and then yesterday I got so fed up I literally had to make a playlist called Second 16 because I was so tired of doing it. I was like, fuck it. I was like, let's go.
A lot of bangers on some of these albums that I hadn't heard in a long time.
Oh, yeah. Like Black Star, forgot how deep that album actually is.
The All Eyes on Me, so many good songs on that.
Yeah.
That's a long-ass album.
Yeah, 2 hours.
So long.
I remember growing up, my cousins would always play Shorty Wanna Be a Thug, like all the time. Shorty, one day he's gonna be.
Hell yeah.
That's good.
And that's a good segue into introducing the show, I guess. This is Whatchu Spinnin, the second round of 32 edition of the Whatchu Spinnin hip hop bracket. As always, I'm Dorian, joined by my pals, my cohorts, Jake and Matt. My boys. I haven't been. I was like, you guys are like equidistant from me, basically.
So we've been blessed.
Yeah. In Matt's new pad.
Yes, we are.
The new empty table shack. It's fucking pimping.
It's nice.
We have within this one room. There's 3 different angles we could shoot for. We could shoot this podcast and make it look like 7 different locations. It's fucking sweet.
Yeah.
Sit at the bar.
Yeah, sit at the bar. Fuck. Yeah, we can do have it shot like Seinfeld. Mm-hmm. You can like Kramer in and out.
Yeah.
And
stuff. A bunch of different spots, different pans.
Yeah.
The studio.
But it's a sick place. Thanks for having us over.
Yeah, of course. Glad you guys like it.
As we were kind of talking, it's time to talk about a very diverse, I feel like. I don't know. I've been trying to find the word to describe it. It's like a good mix of hip-hop albums in this second part that we're doing here.
Yeah.
I feel like.
This second half, I feel like it's a lot more hip-hop than the first half, it feels like to me. It has a lot more oldies, like a lot more 90s.
This one does, for sure.
Yeah.
So I like that about it. This whole second half is,
and some unique battles as well. I know the other side had just as many unique battles, but this one in particular.
Yeah, I think the thing about in that regard about it, I was thinking because the other one had like the Pauly B effect, like every other one, it was like
the Pauly B effect.
Yeah, the Paul's Boutique. I was like, fuck, like it's just going up against Ready to Die, but it's still such a good album. Mm-hmm. And then this one, I feel like it's a little more evened out. Mm-hmm. Like, shout out the randomizer. I feel like that's a cool way to have it either way. But
paired everything up very well.
Yeah, but I kind of like that that's how it went. This one it was kind of like, all right, well, these are both great albums, but this one is just the magnum opus of this whole era or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then we did get some surprises with Fear of a Black Planet and fucking Pray for Haiti. Yeah. I haven't been mad about that for 2 weeks. No, I'm kidding. I lost a fucking Makami. He doesn't even have lyrics on Genius. But no, let's go ahead and do anything else we want to go over. Oh, I've actually got something. Since we're all right here, have you guys heard of Daylist?
No.
On Spotify?
No.
Check this out. Like, do it on your phone too. I want to see what y'all get. So Daylist, it like refreshes. I think it does 4 different playlists a day, so it like refreshes every hour.
Oh yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah, and so it gives you like on Saturdays you listen to stuff within this kind of realm. So what is yours, Jake?
Yeah, it's titled 90s Skate Saturday. So it's just like a bunch of 90s hip-hop, classic hip-hop.
You got some Tribe in there.
Yeah, because
Nice.
recently I've been just listening
Mhm.
to hip-hop because of this bracket.
Right.
But yeah, I've used this before. I see it does switch up
Yeah.
depending on what you're listening to, like throughout the day.
Yeah, like Thursday I had like deep groove metal Thursday evening or something, and it was like a bunch of Tool and Gojira and fucking
Yeah.
Mastodon. Acid. It got me into Acid Bath, that fucking song I
Oh,
sent.
yeah.
But mine right now is basically the same as Jake's as far as artists, like MF Doom and Tribe, but I got MC Rhymes Saturday morning, probably because of this fucking bracket lately. But what you got?
Lonely chamber music, Saturday afternoon.
Damn.
Nice.
Lonely chamber music. Ghostface Killa, Little Brother. Hell yeah. All
Oh,
right.
Little Brother's good.
Yeah.
Lots of Outcast,
Okay.
which I don't mind.
Don't mind that. But yeah, check that out every once in a while. I'd be interested.
Yeah,
and if you
that's
see a
cool.
good one, like screenshot it and we'll
Okay.
bring it up next time. I've gotten some good ones. One was like some weird like 90s house or something. It was like Fatboy Slim and like Oizo and weird shit like that.
I've been listening to a lot of Mr. Oizo.
He's so good.
He is so good. Speaking of music, a lot of new music every week new music drops. That's what
Yeah.
I look forward to. Like Fridays, it's just new music.
Yeah.
Recently, Alchemist dropped a album. It's like a follow up to another series that he did that he's actually rapping on.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That he raps on, and he hasn't rapped since like his first project that he did.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and some raps that like some lyrics that he does are actually like you're like, damn, okay, he's got some writing skills.
Damn. What's it called?
Yeah, what's the
Yeah, it's probably like my first thing that I have. It is called Flying High Part 2.
Damn.
Definitely give it a listen. It dropped
Okay.
2 days ago or yesterday.
Fuck yeah. All right.
So
Flying High Part 2, The Alchemist. I'll definitely check that out. Thanks for the recommendation. Speaking of him, he's going to come up here in probably about 10-15 minutes.
Maybe.
yep.
Shall we? Shall we dive?
Let's.
All right. So, we'll go ahead and I'll do a recap of last time. So, in the Sweet 16 already, we've got Mad Villainy going up against AT Aliens. That's going to be insane. We've got 36 Chambers going up against Low End Theory. Ready to Die going up against Fear of a Black Planet. And then Soul Food going up against Pray for Haiti. That's going to be great. I'm excited to revisit some of those albums and discuss those matchups.
Mm-hmm.
That's like kind of the cool thing is trying to predict what we're doing here. But let's go ahead and go right into it. We've got a matchup with me and Matt, my album Black Star by Mos Def and Talib Kweli, which I think is 90-something, isn't it?
Robots are entering the building. Everybody look nuts. People don't need to know their code. There we go. We're going with 3 Feet High and Rising by De La Soul.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Rock on, Crouton. I'm trying to look up what year that album came out.
I think that was 1989.
98
Or 90.
for Mos Def, and then we've got
91.
89 for De La Soul. Yeah, so Black Star versus 3 Feet High and Rising. Two classics in their own right. One
Yes.
kind of more so than others, but
Yeah, that's a good comparison. Because one,
but I mean, Mos Def is in this bracket twice for a reason, and Talib Kweli, or Yasin Bey, as he is now.
Yeah. We love De La Soul. We've talked about them before numerous times. They've been brought up numerous times because they're great, and I think they kind of set that flow that it's okay to just kind of be abstract and make goofy rhymes. And it's acceptable, and that opened the door for Mos Def to be himself more or less and do his shit. And I don't know. I think it's kind of a cool. This is a cool battle. I like this one. You know.
It is kind of the chicken and the egg kind of thing, because they did come. I mean, this album in particular came out much, like almost 10 years before Black Star did.
Yeah.
So it is kind of, and then even we're going to talk about Black on Both Sides later, but you can see the influence from De La Soul, and shout out to them finally putting this back on streaming. That's been great. The whole re-release that they've done. No, I love this matchup personally. It's a tough one.
It's very hard. I really love both of them. I kind of lean more towards Black Star, just because I think they're a lot more different than De La Soul. De La Soul were different for their time, definitely. Like they pioneered like old school hip hop, and they really brought it to a new light. But Black Star, this being their only album, I think that's not true. They actually did make an album like a year ago or 2 years ago or something.
Yeah.
But this one is like a classic. It's a classic album of theirs. But it's just tough. It's tough. It's two different sides. One is like gangster rap. The other one is just like, I don't know how I'd describe it. It's just like...
It's like pre-Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah, it is pre-Tribe. It's like a lot more like upbeat, more happy, more dance.
Yeah. The comparison, and this is funny because it's two albums that Matt's brought up, is this album and the Arrested Development album kind of have the same kind of hip-hop genre to them.
It was 91 or 92 for Arrested Development.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that happier, like positive kind of...
Very positive vibe and like, just rapping about their lifestyle rather than what they want to do.
Yeah, and so I think it... But man, the just rhyme schemes and syllable play within both, but mainly on the Black Star album, for me, like that's what drew me into it.
It's an underrated album too, I think, in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
it doesn't get a lot of love sometimes, so I'm glad we're talking about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm in the boat where it's hard for both, but I lean more towards Black Star just because I've like been with it more. I feel like I've resonated more with it.
Right.
And Talib Kweli and Mos Def, like it's a great duo. I think in hip hop you don't see a lot of really good duos, and they're one of them definitely old school when you think about it. Like they come up in the conversation. You know, you think of Outkast, you think of a bunch of others, but they're also in the forefront of that conversation.
Yeah.
Those two are unique in themselves. That was like 6 months ago. 6 months ago, I was listening to a podcast with them and Dave Chappelle. They did one.
Damn.
I forgot what the name of it was, but they were just in the studio talking about just weird stuff and being silly, and most of busting rhymes and coming back, and it was pretty cool.
That's incredible. I love that.
Hearing Dave Chappelle bust his stuff was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they were on the Chappelle show, Black Star.
They were.
Mos Def and Talib Kweli, so that's they had that going on all the time, and this was even before Black on Both Sides came out.
Yeah.
A year before, so it was kind of like it gave you an idea of what you were getting into.
Yep.
And it's good because it has that background where he can, come together with the group, with the duo, and then he can do it solo also. Mos Def.
Yeah. And I feel like both these albums I have another hard time with, because as soon as I heard them, I like fell in love with them. Like I hadn't heard 3 Feet High until I had heard like maybe a couple songs off of it until you brought it up. And then Black Star I found through a YouTube video about rap, and because they highlighted like the rhyme scheme within Redefinition, which is why I put it on there, because it was like my intro to them. But I fell in love with both of these albums like as soon as I heard them, and so now I'm like, fuck, which one do I like more?
Yeah, they're tough.
I sang the Magic Number for 3 months straight.
I don't lean one way or the other on these two because they're both unique.
Yeah.
I love most stuff.
Me too. I think personally, or go ahead.
I was gonna say they're both, like I think we said a minute ago, they're both still active. Both acts are. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, actually, speaking of Chappelle show, both Mos Def and De La Soul were on Dave Chappelle show. So,
damn.
They've been around both. They're both titans in the hip hop community. I don't know. Do we want to start up?
I'll start off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 3 Feet High and Rising on this one. I'm gonna have to.
Okay.
I think so.
Nice.
just because I have a
There's no shame in that.
No.
I mean, it's
I love both of them. Fuck, Black Star was my pick, but just 3 Feet High for like ever since you brought it up, I love it. Like the whole concept to it, the how many fibers are in a shredded wheat biscuit, like that kind of shit is just great. And then, but yeah, Black Star is phenomenal in its own right, but it might be recency bias, but I don't think so because I listened to all of Black Star this morning and I'm still making this decision. So, 3 Feet High and Rising for me.
I can go next. I'm gonna go Black Star.
Okay.
I think it's definitely one of my favorites. I've seen it in person so many times, and I'm like, I'm gonna pick this up today, or I'm gonna get this next week. I still haven't got it. I've seen it so many times, and I should have it by now.
Yeah.
But songs like Respiration, the last song, that one's also a banger. So many good songs, good features on it. Common.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Black Star this one.
Hell yeah.
For me, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with 3 Feet High and Rising.
Okay.
Because it's nostalgic for me. It reminds me of house party and kid and play and watching those movies when I was younger.
Hell yeah.
And hearing some of the songs for the first time.
Hell yeah.
And hearing them later in life and be like, oh, I remember that.
I remember that
little beat. That's where that was from.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, oh, these are kind of cool.
That was kind of what I got to because I discovered the Black Star album like probably like 2016, 2017, and I hadn't really revisited it until this past couple of weeks, like a full revisit, and I was like, shit, man, I love damn it,
Definition.
definition, redefinition, Little Brown Lady or whatever the hell. That's like just so many good songs off of it, but then the same thing. I heard that little drum intro from Magic Number, and I was like, yeah, it's literally, and just like the fact that they have like little kid drawn flowers on the album cover, that's just what that album is. It's just happiness. So
it's happiness all around.
Shout out. But yeah, we will be right back to go into probably the hardest matchup of the day. We'll be right back. But you guys ready to do the hardest matchup of the day? Probably. Not really. It's not the hardest. For me, it is.
It's one of them.
I think it's a good matchup because I think we have appreciation for both of these.
Yeah. They've also both been brought up on the show. Also, forgot to mention previously, 3 Feet High and Rising. Check out episode 16 for that one. That was actually a really good episode. I think that was Rammstein, Shuggy Otis, and 3-6 Mafia, I want to say.
Shuggy. My boy genius.
Shuggy Otis.
My boy Shuggy. But yeah, this one we're pulling from episode 10 and episode 6 with Haram by Arm & Hammer and the Alchemist. Let's go ahead and...
I'm about to get real jealous.
I got my copy. The OG copy.
Kaboom. Shout out Jake for selling me this biatch.
I want that back, by the way. that was just a loan.
I paid $20 to rent it for 2 years. Up against Quasimodo's Yessir whatever from episode 6. The most recent release from Quasimodo. Both great albums. I love both of them, so this is really going to be a hard pick for me. Both of these were my picks for the bracket. So yeah, I've got a lot to say, but I'll put a pipe in it for now. I mean, we literally saw Arm & Hammer in concert last month.
We did.
So,
That
I mean, that kind of... If you think you know where this is going, just go ahead and fast forward about 5 minutes and then hear us start talking about Yes or whatever, or just the next matchup. But yeah, I mean...
Both these artists I was introduced to by you guys. Like I hadn't heard of them before I joined the cast. So for me, this is a unique matchup that's fun to talk about because I like them both. And like you just said, we went and saw Arm & Hammer not too long ago, and that was cool in itself. So and Haram was the first introduction for me.
Yeah.
So and this is a great album. It's starts off very sample heavy, and then it just kind of goes into the flows and. I don't know, there's just something catchy about just the way it starts off.
Yeah.
It just hooks you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sir Benny Miles is a crazy intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you gather around, please? Like that. Anytime an album does that, like, usually if someone has the confidence to do that, they
just captures you.
Yeah, it's like.
And I know a lot of that has to do with the Alchemist behind, doing the conducting behind all that shit. It's crazy that they just flow so well together, and that album from start to finish is so good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, from Sir Benny Miles all the way down to Stone Fruit, the verses from anybody and everybody on the album is just unreal to me, and it flows so well. Like having an album just flow, like you can just put it on and then it just literally is just seamless throughout is so nice. Like Black Sunlight, Indian Summer, Aubergine, like all of those songs flow so well throughout each other. It's just insanity. It's insanity. And I'm glad that we, have talked a full episode about it, but I'm also really happy that we get to kind of revisit it because I feel like I've fallen in love with it 4 times since we first talked about it. Again.
That show that we went to definitely made me appreciate it a whole lot more. Especially Stone Fruit. Because it was kind of those songs that I was like, it's a throwaway. But hearing it live and, seeing the power that they have when they're doing it and the emotion they put into it, it's a whole nother beast.
Yeah.
And everything about it, it's great. The album's fantastic. It's great seeing 2 of your, heroes, on one hand you have Alchemist, one of the best producers in the last 30 years, and then, at the same time you have Arm & Hammer, that they've been doing it for so long, come together and, just make this masterpiece of an album. On the other hand, though, Quaz, we're talking about Madlib. It's Madlib.
It's the underground producer, the best underground producer of all time.
Yeah, he's definitely in any person's conversation, top 5 producers of all time. His catalog, everything that he's done, everything that he's worked with. For him to do this and be his final piece for now of this other persona, it's great.
Just the best. We've covered his whole discography as of episode we've covered his other 2 albums on this. I didn't have time to. I didn't have time to go back and find the exact episodes. One was not too long ago though. But yeah, man, it's just the concept behind that of the high pitched voice over the Madlib instrumentals and just the scumbag kind of criminal character that he created.
I was looking at that. Covered stuff on the back there.
Yeah, he's got his little snoot nose in some woman's behind.
Get out of here!
Yeah. He's fucking Alf's degenerate nephew is sniffing ass cracks. It's just so sick. And then this was technically a compilation album, but you get a reimagined version of Green Power off of The Unseen, which was his first album. This version of Green Power was really what cemented my love for Quasimodo, honestly. And I think I said this when we covered The Unseen, but I was like, if I do anything performative in my life, Green Power is going to be my walk-off song, just because it's just such a cool end of the night kind of vibe song.
For sure.
No, this has some of my favorite Quasimodo songs for sure.
Yeah.
Catching a Vibe, Am I Confused?
Astronaut.
Planned Attack.
Astronauts.
This whole album is really good. But I think going up against Haram, it's tough, especially because we all appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
That I think it's safe to say we all like Haram.
Yeah.
We are biased.
I think that's going to be a full... Yeah, I think is that where we're going? You're definitely voting Haram?
I would. If I had to vote right now, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just listen to both of these albums, honestly. Any of these albums, even if they don't make it through, they're in the bracket for a reason, obviously. But this matchup in particular, it was because the 2 songs I picked from the one from Haram was Indian Summer, which is arguably is probably my favorite song off of it. Stone Fruit is a close second now, actually. But Astronaut off of Yes or Whatever and Indian Summer off of Haram are just two insane songs.
I it's hilarious too that our mix that we have where we all have like songs that
The blend.
the blend.
Yeah.
Every single day that it refreshes, sometimes they're different songs from different artists, different genres, but it is always one or two songs off of Haram.
Yeah, it's always it'll be like fucking Squeegee one day,
and then it's Sir Benny Miles or it's Falling Out of the Sky. Yeah. It's always something off Haram.
Yeah.
So,
I think with that being said, I think we just got to push it through. I think all of that being said, we fucking saw him in concert. Can't have a daily blend without one of the album or a song off of it popping up.
Yeah, I don't downplay Quaz at all.
No.
Love that album.
Love it. I mean, it was the first Quaz album I brought up. It was the first one actually not technically, but when I started this round of collecting, first one I owned. I won't even give it the pity vote though. I got to go Haram as well and push it through. But Yes or Whatever, fantastic. Astronaut, I just wanted to say, kind of talk about that song just real quick. It's like two songs in one. It does like a switch.
Beat switch.
But it's not really a beat switch because it's essentially the same one. There's just a little pepper kind of thrown on it. And it's just like... look at just that when he comes back and look out for Double D. She lying, I'm telling you. Who you gonna believe, her or me? Talking about fucking cheating on his girl and shit. It's like Jesus, dude. But shout out Quaz. But Haram moves on in this one. So shout out to him. Jacob, you and I are going against each other now.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
What do you got?
Paid in Full. Paid in Full by Eric B. and Rakim. Came out in 87.
Jesus Christ.
In 87, it's a banger.
I'm sorry.
The hell are you? For fuck's sake!
Sorry.
We don't do snippets anymore.
Bad phone.
Was that De La Soul?
Yeah, just
one of them.
You don't need to talk to me right now, guys.
You don't need to.
I'm in the middle of a cast. Sorry, De La Soul was calling me.
We put you through. They just wanted to know what their place was.
Sorry, guys. We'll call you back, okay? Sorry.
Eric B. and Rakim, 1987. You said.
87, Paid in Full.
Paid in Full, and myself, and I. Let me figure out what year it came out. Right quick.
Don't you have this? I feel like you have this.
I do, actually. Why am I doing that?
What in the hell?
Haha! Good Kid, Mad City from 2012. Kendrick Lamar, his major label debut. This is an insane matchup. Old and new come together.
Yeah.
Eric B. and Rakim, two of the GOATs, going up against, in my opinion, one of the greatest storytelling hip-hop albums of all time. Let's duke it out, my friend. It's literally, Eric B. and Rakim is so 87, like the cover and everything of it. Like,
it's like New Jack City. It's like straight up.
It's it's like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like
pre-fresh,
pre-jazz.
It's very haircuts and gold chains,
slanted flat tops.
But a lot of the sampling and a lot of the rhymes and a lot of the things that are on that album you hear from other artists throughout hip hop after that, which is cool. I know that they inspired a lot of those artists. With this album, and just kind of being the first mainstream hip hop albums, to kind of sell a bit more and be accepted a little bit more. Yeah. And for a lot of people that didn't listen to hip hop, be accessible too. Yeah.
It definitely. Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
It definitely brought hip hop to a new scene, especially because it's still being kind of new, not super. It wasn't yet established like East West Coast a whole lot. So this put East Coast on the map and hip hop in general. Eric B with his beats, Rakim rapping, it's crazy, and it really changed the game for hip hop. I think if this hadn't come out, a whole lot of stuff maybe would have faltered or wouldn't be so ahead of its time.
It's one of the most important hip hop albums in this bracket, or that we've even mentioned. You know, it's just as important as 3 Feet High and Rising to the scope of things.
100%.
Yeah.
Because it's like 1987, you know, like Van Halen was huge. Like to have like so any hip hop album that comes out back then is if it doesn't die, it's
it was Run DMC, and that's about it.
Yeah.
At that point, I don't know.
Yeah, like hip hop was still such a young little bird, you know, that something this good coming out and being like, oh damn, like this is what we can be doing with this genre. It doesn't have to be like Grandmaster Flash all the time.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. Like that's, and then Rakim ended up being, you know, he's everybody's favorite rapper.
Yeah, this is, I think, his first time coming on music.
Yeah,
because it's before he went solo. So yeah, it really brought both of them to the limelight, especially Rakim with his rap style.
Yeah,
so
most definitely.
I think it is a classic. I think it is a classic for its era, but I think talking about modern classics, everyone's heard of Kendrick.
Yeah,
everyone's heard of Kendrick, and everyone knows that album.
Good Kid, Mad City.
Good Kid,
I mean,
Mad City.
Swimming Pools off of it is, you know, Drake, sit down. Like, episode 5, Whatchu Spinnin, we covered this. Loved, that was like, I was going through and
that was early.
Fucking, one of the other episodes, we've got an episode 2 representation here today too. We had some episode 1s last time. Yeah, episode 5, Good Kid, Mad City. You listen to the whole thing cover to cover, and it tells such a harrowing, like just dark, but it's like a beautifully dark story about like Kendrick Lamar's life and like growing up in Compton, and it's got legitimate voicemails from his parents on it, and you know like vocal sketches throughout it but like retellings of what him and his friends were actually out doing, you know, like jumping into people's houses and stealing shit and you know, getting caught up and all sorts of shit. And has one of the most beautifully written songs in all of hip-hop, in my opinion. Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst.
I was going to say that.
If you got 12 minutes and you need to cry, go ahead and put that fucking song on, man. It's just...
It'll do it for you.
It will do it. Just... but yeah, just the way... Like, this album is so special to me. It's one of my favorites of all time. It's why I brought it up so early, and why it had to be in the bracket for me. But yeah, like everything about it, it just, again, it flows so well together. And I think I'm going to say the word beautiful 8,000 times, because that's like just the way that I could describe this album. It's just top to bottom. Man.
Yeah, no, 25 years of hip hop evolution from Paid in Full to Good Kid, Mad City. And it kind of goes to show not only beats, but sampling, the storytelling, Kendrick. Like, I think without Paid in Full, you know, Paid in Full crawled, so, you know, this could walk.
That's a good way to put it.
That is a good way to put it. I see what the fuck you're doing right now, though.
That would sum up my vote, because I don't think Paid in Full, if it were to advance, would make it very far after.
Yeah.
As good as it is and as established as it was, I think Kendrick's album deserves to be represented a little bit stronger in the competition, in my opinion.
I think I like that point that you do. I think that's summed up, because Kendrick, he is our day and age hip hop. Yeah. He is our hip hop right now.
Yeah. He is, like, you know, it's the Mount Rushmore of any genre will change, and you know, for like people our age, it's like that's like Kendrick was who got me back into hip hop, was Kendrick and Tyler the Creator. So, but yes, Eric B and Rakim, you know, you gotta love them for what they did for the game, especially in 1987. I didn't realize that's when that fucking album came out. I'm actually kind of fucked up about that. Like, that's insane.
25 years from that to Good Kid.
Jesus
I
Christ.
did pull out a calculator 30 seconds ago.
That's savage. But yeah, I mean, safe to say Good Kid, Mad City for me, and kind of sounds like that's full all aboard. Or
I'll go just for. I mean, it's
just
over.
to tip the hat.
We're pushing
Yeah.
forward Kendrick, but I'm going Eric B. I'm giving that album its flowers. I think it's a classic. It is a classic.
It is.
Hell yeah.
That's why I brought it up initially, just because
Mhm.
if we're having these conversation of hip hop, we have to go to the source. We have to
Yep.
go to the roots.
Oh yeah.
That's why I brought it up. And yeah, I mean, I came back to it this week listening to all of our picks, going back into hip hop, made me appreciate it a whole lot more.
Oh yeah.
So
Absolutely. So, Good Kid, Mad City moves on, and I get to kind of take a break from duking it out. I'm a little sore.
Okay.
My arm's a little sore from throwing all them punches. But no, it's time for Matt and Jake to duke it out. So, Matt, what is your pick from episode 2 of Whatchu Spinnin?
1995, maybe? Fuji's the score?
Ooh, the score. Did you bring your copy of the score, Jake?
I did not.
Lame-o.
I'm
But-
not sure about that date. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
That was early. That was like second.
Second up. First episode was Miles for you.
96.
96. The score by the Fugees. Which was your second pick of all time.
Oh, yeah, because you guys did. Yeah. That is-
We did the Fugees, yeah, episode 2. That's when I
Forgot
did
about
Ghost
that. I thought it was Krongman, but Krongman was third then, huh?
Krongman might have been 4th because
Third or fourth.
it was either Buena Vista and Krongman were
That's
right.
right.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
think
They
it
were
was
right next to each other.
Buena Vista was 3rd, Krong was 4.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the score versus my pick, Gangstar, Hard to Earn, 94.
2 years of separation.
Yeah, so close.
2 years separation.
Different vibes.
Different vibes, but still very hip hop. Both.
Yeah, especially for that time.
I think mine is just iconic because you have, one of the best producers, DJ Premier, and Guru, R.I.P.
Yeah.
But with that album, it cemented them as an up and coming hip hop duo to look out for.
Yeah.
And then all the albums they did afterwards.
I mean, we covered, fuck.
We did.
What was the album that we covered?
Moment of Truth.
Moment of Truth.
Moment of Truth.
Yeah.
So, but this one, Hard to Earn, it was I guess their bigger one that came out because
sure.
they did 2 before this, but that didn't gain that much traction. But when Hard to Earn came out, it was definitely a big step for them. So that's why I brought this up because if we're talking about hip hop, we have to bring up Guru and DJ Premier.
And I mean, the song that you picked for the playlist, Mass Appeal, is just that beat.
Oh
is
yeah,
iconic. DJ Premier all over
that's
it.
an iconic Premier beat.
And just Guru rapping, man. I mean, what else can you say about that? And then to have it be the bigger album that they put out, and kind of was an introduction to everybody. But I mean, if we're talking influence as well, fucking Miss Lauryn Hill, we've talked about her twice. I mean, this is our third time bringing her up by proxy.
Yeah.
Miss Lauryn Hill with the Fugees and Wyclef Jean and all that, and them. It's like, goddamn, how do you pick?
Yeah.
But that's what we're here to do.
Fuji's were unique too, coming back out in the mid '90s. There having that kind of positive vibe-ish, not as heavy with the gangster vibe.
Very reggae influenced as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
And I remember I think I stumbled upon a video of the Fuji Law video when that was on MTV. Just late at night, or it's on a different channel. I was like, oh, this is cool shit. And I remember just finding the album at like Musicland or some random place in the mall.
Musicland.
Musicland. Just bumping that whole album in high school and feeling like I was the only one that was into the Fugees because nobody else knew them. Felt very unique in that time to have that music, and it was fun. And I love this album.
Yeah.
From start to finish.
The No
and
Woman
they
No
all
Cry.
have unique styles, It's
Yeah.
not all very like Lauryn Hill heavy or anything like that. They all just put their all into it.
Yeah.
They all have their unique style on each track.
Yeah.
Even the covers they do. So
Yeah, and I think that's, if there's one thing I could say about like how we've pulled this, or like how we've kind of gone about this bracket, is that the songs that we picked for the playlist, like from all of us, were very good representations of the album. Like Zealots, the song that you picked for this, is a very good representation of exactly that, of how well blended the album is as a whole, and not it being, you know, oh, it's the Wyclef show the whole time, or oh, it's the Lauryn Hill show. Because it's like they, throughout the album, it's like, oh, it's a, for lack of a better word, it's like a fair like treatment of everybody, with like, oh, we'll give you the spotlight this time, oh, we'll give you, and I mean, you know, just as Hard to Earn has insane you know, good tracks on it. The damn it, fuck, iconic songs off of the score, you know, like Ready or Not, Killing Me Softly, like that's the other thing, is that this one is almost go down track by track, and just whoever wins the most tracks wins the bracket, because it's so close to me. Yeah, like it's just a very close matchup.
I think also, isn't it like one of the most top selling grossing albums like of all time?
I think so.
I think it's sold like the most like of all time. I think it's like one of, if I remember correctly.
Keep bantering. I'll figure.
Because the score is massive. The score is massive. It's not, and it did. I think it might be, if we look at this bracket, one of the most, like the biggest albums on here, just off of success.
Yeah, for that time in hip hop, yeah.
Yeah, because they did like a world tour after this, and they went everywhere, and they were massive. Everyone everywhere was listening to the Fugees. Really brought into limelight also Lauryn Hill. Helped set her up for her album.
Sure.
So, yeah, the score is incredible. It's definitely a classic also.
22 million copies sold, 6 times platinum.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's fucking banana land. Yeah. 7 times platinum in the US. Europe was only 6 times.
Oh, yeah. Only 6.
Only 6. But yeah, 22,000 copies sold worldwide. Or 22 million. 22 million. That's banana land. With the score. And then it's like, I don't know what to say right now, because it's so...
I think I just sold myself on
the score. Yeah, I was about to say, I just felt the energy leave this guy.
Yeah, I just switched.
So, do we push through?
I think so.
What's the voting?
I think for influence, I'll be biased as fuck, because I love this album.
Yeah.
It's just another nostalgia moment for me. And
I mean, I don't blame you. I brought this up like one of my first picks ever on this show for a reason too. So
yeah,
I'm going the score too.
Nice.
Damn. I personally thought that I was like, because I try to predict what's going to happen. I was like, Hard to Earn's going to make it through, but I got to go to the score as well. Just the influence of it and everything. So yeah, the score moves on and will face Good Kid, M.a.a.d City.
Ooh, damn.
So far we've got 3 Feet High versus Haram.
Okay.
And then Good Kid, M.a.a.d City versus the score. Jake, I should have messaged you and been like, hey, bring all these albums for us.
I did bring that one.
Oh, you did?
That I did.
I should have bought this when it was $30 on Discogs. Now it's $60 again.
That I did.
But bathroom break, or are we good?
Ball, yeah.
Ball. I just got him at this booth.
Saul Williams.
Being a Miller.
Yeah. Miller.
All right. It's time for Matt and I to duke it out once again with my pick for this part of the bracket, 3001, A Laced Odyssey by Flatbush Zombies.
Yeah.
Incredible album. When was it released?
2016.
2016.
So it's a gatefold. That's kind of pictures of them.
Where'd you find that at?
This was on their website.
Yeah, they did a re-release.
They did a 5-year anniversary.
I missed out on it. That's why.
Sent you a link, doggy.
I know. I couldn't do it at the time, and then
I'll distract him.
Yeah. Just beat him over the head with his hydro flask, take it, tie him up with the mouse cable. But no, I've been tracking it on Discogs, and at one point it like dropped down to like $38, and I was like, ooh shit, I could easily grab it. Totally forgot about it. Now it's up to like 64 again. Last I checked, like a month ago, I was like, God damn it! All right.
Not too bad.
But Flatbush Zombies 3001. I wanted to get kind of like a weird, like a throw-in, kind of like not really a throwaway, but like, hey, I don't give a shit. I really like this fucking album. In my opinion, it's no skips. I was like, this one was total just self-service for me, just throwing this album in. But which kind of makes me wonder about your album. Yeah. Is it kind of the same thing? Mm-hmm. Just kind of like, fuck it, I like it, throw it in there? Mm-hmm. But what is your album, first off?
What is your album? 2004 self-titled album by Saul Williams.
Okay. Which is insane. It's a great album.
A departure from, his collaboration with Rick Rubin on his first album.
Yeah.
I think this one was almost self-produced or some help from somebody else. But...
Mm-hmm. And this is the third time we've talked about Saul. Check out episode 12 for Amethyst Rockstar, which was Matt's second ep. His second pick, Amethyst Rockstar. And then Niggy Tardust was episode 56. Yeah. A couple months back.
This was my introduction to Saul.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember getting into Trent Reznor again and Nine Inch Nails back when he was touring with the With Teeth album. And Saul was opening for him. And the song Telegram to Hip Hop.
Yeah.
Just the delivery he had, and I was just like, he's right. Fuck yeah. So I was like getting all into it, and just kind of opened my eyes to a little bit more of a cool way to grab your style and do your thing.
Yeah.
I do like this Saul pick. I like both of these picks because they're kind of out there.
Mm-hmm.
Saul Williams kind of, he's very much Saul Williams. He does his own thing. He does not care, and I love that about him because he's very different, especially for a hip hop. But I love this album. 3001 Laced Odyssey, definitely a weird pick, Dorian. Weird ass pick. But I love that pick because I come from that same cloth. Like I very much listen to Flatbush Zombies, Beast Coast, everything that they do. I love this pick especially just because I was there when it came out. I was listening to it when it released.
Oh yeah.
Was very much into all their other stuff beforehand, so...
Oh, yeah, I was getting absolutely high out of my fucking gourd and watching WWE and listening to fucking New Phone Who Dis, on repeat.
Yeah, listening to Bounce for 5 hours straight and tripping on whatever,
Hitting gravity bongs made out of glass vinegar bottles and listening to fucking Bounce, exactly.
Yeah. So,
Jesus
I love
Christ.
both of these, but... I'm giving my credit to Saul on this. Like I love the song that you put on the
Black
mix.
Stacy.
Black Stacy is a great song.
Yeah, it's kind of a goofy song.
That's a really good song.
But it is goofy, but it's so good, and I think it's just like the cadence of it, like Black Stacy. But you played it on the way to Portland too, and I was like, I don't know why, but it's perfect.
It is
because we had just gotten 45 minutes into the drive, and I was like, Matt, you're a DJ at heart. I was like, you played the perfect shit at the perfect time because we all kind of were like, all right, now we're in it. Of course, we got Saul going, on the boys, we're in it now. And so, so I think because of that too, we've kind of gotten to appreciate that album a little bit too. And fucking just want to mention one song off of that, Grippo. Dude, that second song.
Yeah.
Such an insane track. Just so good.
Yeah, it is very...
And you brought up delivery. That's one of the things I did like about this album listening to it was that he finds a different way to deliver on almost every track.
Yeah.
Just the way he's rapping is different almost every song.
It's a darker, slower album out of all his albums, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
That he's done.
Absolutely.
It's not very heavy with any rock or spoken word. It's just kind of I don't know, it's just different.
But it's very, it feels like the most Saul to me.
I think that's why I liked it, probably, yeah.
Because there is some poetic kind of aspect to it, too. Which, speaking of, listening to this made me go back and watch that video you sent me of him doing the poetry and shit.
Oh, nice.
I was like, it came up on my YouTube, and I was like, oh, perfect. I was listening to that this morning or whatever, and I was like...
Was he reading, or was he doing a freestyle?
It was the one where he's got the really long sheet of paper that you sent me.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was like, damn, dog. But...
That's good. Also on that album, List of Demands.
Also
a great song. Great song.
Mm-hmm.
I got a list of demands written on the palm of my hand.
Yeah.
He's just going. He's going. Saul Williams is very good.
I want my money back.
Yeah. Saul is fucking awesome. I love that. I got to discover him because of you.
Yeah, same.
Definitely, I wouldn't have.
Yeah. I think out of all of the ones I've been introduced to, like, Saul is the one that I go back to the most out of all of them. Like, even, like, I'll even do some Cigaros, Brian Eno, but, like, for some reason, man, Saul is just the bee's knees. And then you did say it, like, it did, that's why, like, to kind of go back to my point, this felt the most Saul because it didn't, like, Stardust was great, but it did have a lot of Trent influence on it. But this one felt like it was just him being like, it's called Saul Williams. This is like the most. It's gonna have the poetry kind of aspect to it, the polarizing kind of lyrics to it, and everything. So yeah, great. Out of any of the ones that you've brought up so far, this was a great one to put in the bracket. I feel like, which makes this so hard.
Yeah,
It's tough.
part of me is like super into Saul, but the other part of me is like I literally got through high school with Flatbush Zombies.
Yeah.
And I've had so many more experiences with Flatbush Zombies.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably why I lean towards this one too.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing about these picks.
Yeah.
It can be a good reason.
Also, like seeing progression, progression of Saul, his
Mm-hmm.
albums, seeing progression of Flatbush Zombies with all of their mixtapes,
Mm-hmm.
this being their actual debut, and stuff that's come up afterwards, like the solo work that Meech has done and that Juice has done, and seeing Eric actually doing a lot more stuff and being a lot more mainstream.
Becoming, like, in the recent past, becoming more of a feature artist.
Yeah,
too.
he has, like, I just checked today, he has 3 million listeners on Spotify.
Damn.
And he was always kind of not really looked at.
The most popular out of the three.
Yeah, because he was just the guy making the beats. He was just the producer for them.
Yeah, for sure.
So now him, like, stepping into his own and, like, doing songs with Jungle and Channel Tress, like, it's crazy seeing his progression. So
yeah, and that track he did with Ghostmane and Puya and Shakewell, that song
kills. I've always admired him as a rapper. I think his production is really good, but his rapping is also really good. He's my favorite out of even Meech, dude. I love Meech. I love Meechy Darko, but
they're even keel for me, but I do like Meechy a little more. But I do get the love.
Meechy is his delivery is nuts.
Yeah, on This Is It, the song that I put in the playlist, that kind of Matesimal, it's like, Jesus Christ, dude. The fact, it's just stuff like that, and a hip hop trio is something is really cool. Just having that. But I mean, shall we try and vote on this?
Okay, so this is going to be more like a favoritism vote. So.
Yeah, probably.
I'm over mine.
Okay, you're voting Saul.
Yeah.
Jake, what do you got?
Because I like them both.
I like them both, too.
I like them both, but I'm going Flatbush Zombies.
Fuck.
It doesn't matter what you pick.
It doesn't matter what I pick. Actually, it does.
They're both great.
They're both great. I love Saul. But honestly, looking at it, I don't think it matters which one we pick, because I think we're going to see the Pauly B effect here in about 6 minutes.
It's getting slammed by the next one.
Yeah, whatever it goes up against, it's losing. Like, we could put Ready to Die. I mean, Ready to Die would be the only thing that could take the next one out. But
it's getting slammed.
Just a little foreshadowing there. But I'm going to go ahead and put through 3001. Next hip hop bracket, please put in another Saul pick.
Yeah,
I think I would like to see if I had to.
Amethyst Rockstar is a banger.
Yeah, the last one he has, Martin Luther King. That one's pretty good.
Martin Luther King.
Martyr
Luther King. Yeah. I love his titles, dude. He's just the shit. But yeah, 3001 moves on. I thought there was gonna be. I mean, it was up to me. I could have made it Saul because I thought it was going to be Saul, but
that's okay.
That's okay.
We love Saul anyway.
Anyways, Matt, you and I are fighting again.
Yeah, enough for you. All eyes on me, okay?
Yeah. So that is hell of an intro. You're bringing up
1996, Tupac, All Eyes on Me. double album.
Double album.
Super long. We were talking about that earlier over, I think it's 2 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Against.
Another 1996 album for you, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Against 2021's The House is Burning by Isaiah Rashad, which we brought up episode 51 right after our second instrumental day. Got my buddy Alex on that episode. That's always that was a fun one. Shout out my boy. But yeah, man. I mean,
different albums,
different albums,
eras all together.
Yeah, we're talking about Tupac though. I mean, this is the Pauly B effect to the umpteenth degree.
Is it?
And I don't know why I picked this album. I think I did because it was his last like actual album that he did before he died. You know, besides all the things that they released after he died and stuff like that.
Yeah. To be honest,
so many different guests on this album with Snoop and everybody that's on this album.
I probably would have picked this one too, though.
Yeah.
To be honest, I would have picked. I think probably would have done this one too. So I see why, but yeah, Tupac's discography is so strong that it's like you really could pick any of them. Yeah. And then the song you picked for this one too is just so good.
Classic. There's so many classic songs on here. You know, minus California Love and all the overplayed, stereotypical radio songs. But
yeah,
what a way to go out if this is your last album.
Yeah,
in a sense,
for sure. And man, the fact that it is his last album, it's like Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah. Like
you did Ambitions as a writer and then called it quits.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
It's crazy too because this is like our first time bringing up a Tupac album.
Yeah. We never talked about Tupac at all.
We're very East Coast heavy show. Yeah. East Coast program. Yeah. East Coast program.
Yeah. But I think if we're talking about hip hop, Tupac is up there.
Yeah.
He is up there. He's one of those that definitely nowadays a lot of people still bring up Tupac. A lot of people still listen to Tupac. Yeah. It's insane. And this album for sure, it has all of his really big bangers like Ambitions as a Writer, All Eyes on Me. Even has a lot of deep cuts, with Method Man, with Snoop, Nate Dogg, all over this.
Yeah, everybody's on here.
I brought this up right before we started. When I was growing up, still like little me, like 10-year-old me, my cousins, they would play Shorty Wanna Be a Thug all the time. And I was still little. I couldn't ask, who is this? What is this? I barely knew how to talk. But I'd hear that little whatever it is, that beat to it, and hearing back this album, I'm like, damn, that's what that song was. Brings me back.
Oh yeah.
So it's not all gangster heavy, it's a little bit here and there. It's got Life Goes On, which is a sad ballad, and it mixes it up a little bit, shows a sensitive side of Tupac, which a lot of people forget about. He's an actor. He's like very like outspoken.
Yeah, poet.
I think he just took this this album to the thug mentality to the fullest, which is cool. Yeah. Maybe it was a gimmick. Maybe it was half true. I don't know.
I remember one time it was me and my buddy Tyler, guy who got me into the Front Bottoms. Shout out. I'll text you. Let him know he's getting a shout out. But he and I were moving from a little 3-bedroom apartment to like a big ass like 5-bedroom house over off Kincaid, where I lived before I moved out to where I am now. And we had to, like, the two of us had to go, like, we both had the day off. We had to go to the property management company for the new place and like pick up the keys. And we pull up and I'm like, just wait here, I'll run inside and grab them. And I had this little shitty Civic with 2 power base 12 subwoofers in the back, and I am blasting Ambitions as a Writer, like windows rolled down, August fucking whatever, run inside, go get the keys, come back out. Song is still playing as loud as I left it.
Yes.
And Tyler's just sitting there and he's like, that was a good, he's like, I like that move. I was like, what? He's like, us just pulling up to here, not giving a shit, speeding, blasting Ambitions as a write-out to our property management company, going and then just like not saying anything about it and leaving. Mm-hmm. He's like, and we smell like weed. Like just like this whole thing. He's like, we definitely just roasted a bowl before we left. Like we probably smell like pot. Like all this stuff is like Jesus Christ. But great memories associated with that album for sure. Mm-hmm. But Jake, you and I have a couple memories about The House is Burning.
Yeah,
you know,
that
was like the
more close than anything.
Yeah, that was the first time you and I hung out. Was the tour for this album, going and seeing him live.
Yeah, and great night.
Great night.
All things considered, it was fantastic. Yeah. Great show.
Great.
Everything about it. Still have regrets of not only who we went with, but not getting merch.
Yeah.
But man, Zay is great. I think he got a little bit more attention with this album. Mm-hmm. But his catalog, I think it's a great third album to have in his little trio, and his fans, they love it. We love it.
Yeah.
We have signed copies of it. It took like almost a year to come.
It was
actually it was over a year.
Yeah, over a year.
So yeah, I appreciate this album a whole lot. I still listen to a lot of songs that come on this.
And I mean, I brought it up for an ep, so I mean that shows my love for it right there. And for some reason, like I see the point, like it's not every Isaiah Rashad fan, like it's not their favorite in his catalog, but for some reason to me, it's like I love Sun's Tirade, and it honestly, on a good day, I could convince myself that that's my favorite album by him. But when this came out, I don't know, it was just like I'd been waiting so long, and it made me realize like when it came out, like how it impacted me. I was like, oh, I'm actually a much bigger Isaiah fan than I thought I was. Mm-hmm. Like when it came out, I was like, oh shit, this is actually one of my favorite rappers of all time. Mm-hmm.
It felt like such a long way. It took forever for this to come out.
5 years.
And that felt like forever.
It felt like 30.
We're like, where's the new album?
Where is it?
Sylvia demo was fantastic. Sunstarted was amazing. Where is his? Where's his final? Where's his grand finale? It took forever. It felt like, but it coming out, I think it cemented him in hip hop as not very mainstream, not too big, but still in that TDE, fan base. A lot of them really a lot of them still gravitate to this album and Isaiah as an artist.
Yeah, it's hard also when you're on that label.
Yeah,
like when you
get outshined
when you're playing second fiddle to Kendrick, Schoolboy, SZA, J-Rock, Absol, fucking. It's like, dude, you're on a stack, which is like good for him that he's on that stacked label, but I think that's probably why. It's because he's not a priority for him. But unfortunately, he is up against like one of the strongest albums in the bracket. Probably the biggest album on this side of it outside of the score. So unfortunately, I'm going to give the pity vote to House is Burning, honestly. I'm just going to give it his vote.
I'm just going to give it pity crumb.
Yeah.
Matt?
I don't know. It's not an easy pick either for me. Because they're two different eras of hip-hop.
Yeah.
For you guys, this holds a good close memory, too. But I guess that's why I like my album, too, for me. And Tupac was influential in good and bad ways. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Whether it was positive or not. Some people have their opinion, but for me, I'll probably go with Tupac. Okay. All Eyes on.
Nice.
The long way around it.
I would love to pick both of these albums. I mean, if we can do like a little side tree branch where it's both of these albums against something else, I would do it.
They power up.
Yeah, somehow.
Yu-Gi-Oh style.
But if we gotta pick, I'm sticking with Matt. I'm gonna have to go Tupac.
Okay. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean we've brought up. We had a whole episode of Isaiah Rashad, and definitely more to come.
Yeah, for sure.
I will definitely bring up his other albums, but for now, if we're talking about a bracket, we're talking about hip hop. It is Tupac.
You gotta say that. Yep. Yeah. That's exactly true.
Yeah.
Can't not.
It'd be sacrilegious if I went against. I'd get pitchforks and
banging on the door already. I was like, man, live feed, what's going on?
What you put in there might come back. Fun fact.
No gold laugh.
I found out that's actually a fun fact. Not many people know that the old man from Pet Sematary is Herman Munster from the Munsters. So.
Whoa.
Yeah, the guy that does the what
that.
you put in there might come back.
Yeah.
That's Frankenstein from the Munsters. A little spooky. Happy Halloween, everybody. By the way, this is coming out 6 days after Halloween. Happy Halloween. Fucking.
Who's this guy?
What if we did a Halloween, like, 5 days later? We're all here and, like, Jacob's dressed up as Pennywise in a full thing of makeup. I'm in a Spider-Man suit. Matt's like Thor. Matt's wearing a toga and a fucking thing. Yep, so All Eyez on Me moves on.
Moving on.
It's all good. I won one of the matchups against Matt.
Just one, that's all you get.
That's a tough matchup, though.
That is. That's the Poly B effect to the max.
Mm-hmm.
But next it's Jacob and Matt. So Jacob, what you got, bad boy?
Yeah, looking at this bracket, I think this section is, for me, the hardest.
Oh, easily.
It's for me the hardest out of all of these. It's like one pick is hard or one matchup is good, but this little section, this bottom section, the hardest for me.
To put it simply, it's like this is where it gets personal because of like personal connections to these albums. Where it's like that's what I mean by personal. It's like no, I have a legit like emotional connection to this album. It's not. I understand that this is better, but I understand that Tupac is Tupac. But for my own self and the amount of times that like this has helped me, that's what that's kind of what it's turning into.
This
for
is what
me.
it is for me for sure.
It's like no, this was me. I cried to this.
That being said, mine for this matchup, Joey Badass 1999 came out in 2012. I don't own this. Here's a picture of it. I know Dorian will put it up. I've wanted this so bad. They did a repress like a year ago. I was like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna see it in person. Still haven't. Hate myself for not ordering it. But 1999 Joey Badass, probably one of the best mixtapes of all time. I think that's in hip hop. I think that's very well, and that's a good statement. Like a lot of people back that.
Yeah.
Especially for his age. He was like 17, 18 when he made this album.
That's cool.
It's fucking insane.
That's awesome.
And yeah, just I have a whole lot of appreciation for it. We've talked about the follow-up to this. We've talked about Waves off this album, but the follow-up to this album, which was Before the Money. But yeah, definitely one of my personal favorites of Joey Badass.
And it's going up against Matt's
Black on Both Sides by Mos Def, which came out in 1999.
I legitimately looked up when. What was it?
It came out in 1999.
Damn, that's right. I looked up when we covered this. Had the episode in front of me. Didn't write it down, but
we did cover it.
Episode 30. Episode 33. It was episode 33.
Man, get this guy a medal.
I remember because that was it was Mos Def, In Flames, and Pete LaRocca.
Damn.
Oh, that's right.
Basra.
Yeah.
That was
Pete LaRocca. Yeah. Damn. Good memory.
Yeah.
I looked it up. I mean, I looked it up today and was like, I took a screenshot because I was going through and like if I found a good episode like that one, I was like, ooh, I want to bring up like what that episode was. So, but yeah, that one was sick. Mos Def, In Flames, and Pete LaRocca. Jesus Christ, man.
Well, yeah, we've talked about Black on Both Sides.
Yeah.
One of my first introductions to Mos Def, and it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else is there to say?
Yeah. And I mean, we talked about Mos Def earlier with Black Star as well. Love seeing Mos Def in this bracket a handful of times. But yeah, I mean, this against 1999, it's like both of them are so good in their own right, and I feel like Mos Def is like now it's like people talk about him but not as much, and then like Joey Badass is kind of like the same for like current. So for some reason I see a lot of similarity with like the two of them, which is why I find this matchup to be pretty interesting.
It is. It's very interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. Please.
I think for me it's really tough because I love both of these albums. I grew up with both of these albums. I think I heard Mos Def first just because it's a classic hip hop album. But when I was in school, in high school and like middle school, I was listening to Joey Badass, just because I related more to him. Like he was, I felt like I could step into his shoes more, because him being a younger guy, I was like, hey, this is just for me. It speaks to me, and at the same time, like just the work that he had on it, like just making an album with his friends, pro era, like Capital Steve's R.I.P. and then Nick Caution, not Cannon.
Good old Nick Cannon.
I still have to clip that.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Chuck Strangers, like a bunch of these guys that he went to school with, just making an album, and lo and behold, it turns out to be heralded as one of the best mixtapes of all time. It's insane for such a young age, having that that skill that he has. It's not seen. It's very rare. And on this album he got production from J Dilla, from Primo, from Static Selecta, like insane for this guy's 17. Like, why are you getting these big names on your album? And that kind of shows that people did believe in him. Like, they thought he was when he dropped this, they thought he was the new wave for hip hop. Very much like, oh, this new guy from East Coast, from New York, he's coming up, he's young, he's got a bright future. And I mean, I have so much love for this album, so it's really tough for me to choose for this. That's why I'm so excited about it, because I could go on lengths on both of these, like forever.
Well, I mean, the Joey Badass is insane. He's insane. One of the, it's mind blowing to me that like he's not. That's kind of the thing, man. Is that like being quote unquote popular in hip hop to where like everybody knows you is horseshit nowadays, because it's all dumb. Like, those artists aren't good in my opinion. Like, they're good. Like, I have guilty pleasure songs like Future. I'm actually a huge Future fan. For some fucking reason, I can't get enough of it. But there's...
I like Future.
What?
I like Future.
Yeah, but there's like some artists now that are like everybody knows, where it's like they're not that good, man. And then Joey Badass is like, it's one of those things. How do I put it? You'll understand. Floater, right? Insane band. We're like, why doesn't everybody know about him? And then we're like, wait, it's actually really fucking tight that not everybody knows about him, because then like we get cool shit. And that's kind of like the thing with Joey Badass, is that he's not even the most popular person from Beast Coast, because it's Flatbush by a long shot. And it's like, fuck, man, like I wish he was like so much bigger, and like I wish Underachievers was bigger, but it's like actually kind of cool that they're not, because it's like you have that little special thing. Like, oh, I'm the only person out of my friend group that listens to Before the Money or knows about 1999. Yeah. So it's one of those kind of things that it's like why I kind of like Joey Badass a shit ton, actually. So that makes it difficult. But then we're talking about m.a.a.d. It's like one of the most underrated artists right now versus like one of the goats of the game, but has kind of just like lurked in the background and isn't on the popularity level of say a Biggie or a Pac, but is just as fucking good. And has been doing it for just as long.
I think hip hop is definitely like, both of these artists are respected tremendously in hip hop.
Very.
If you bring up Joey Badass, people give praises to him. But I think more so m.a.a.d, just because he's been doing it so much longer. Yeah. He still pops up on features. He featured on 10. In other words, Airmaze 10 by West Side Gun.
Oh, yeah.
With Talib Kweli. So, yeah, he's very much still around. It's kind of rare when you see him pop up, but when you do, it's like so appreciated. It's like, oh my god, we're getting a new verse from m.a.a.d, from Yessir Bey. It's crazy. And Joey Badass, he just dropped 2000, like I think earlier this year or last year?
Earlier this year, I remember.
This year.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're still they're still at it. They're still killing it. But I think both of these albums are their magnum opus for each of them.
Yeah.
Definitely 1999 for Joey Badass. and Black on Both Sides, arguably, you know, his best. So it's a tough pick, man. It's straight down the middle for me.
Yeah, that is kind of a tough pick that way.
Yeah. Jesus. But it's kind of Black on Both Sides versus 1999. Why did it have to be this one? I feel almost as fucked up about this one as I did Haram versus Yessir, whatever. This sucks.
Yeah.
Are we kicking off the voting? And y'all are putting it on me first?
Yeah, I'll put it on you.
Okay, I'll put it on me. Fuck!
I'll put it on
Matt has very little words, but he has his mindset.
Dude.
I know it.
Yeah.
I know it.
Because this one, like you guys are saying, it's not a throwaway pick. It's not a easy pick. It's just kind of like, it's hard to pick at all.
Yeah, it's just...
I don't want to pick, but I'm going to.
There's too many similarities, and the things that I appreciate about both are so like, oh, well, that's basically like this on Black on Both Sides. Well, that's basically like this on 99. Put a bullet in me. I voted against Most Def, which was my own pick at the beginning of this, and we did a full ep on it. We've done a couple. We brought up Joey a couple of times, which makes it so hard to do this. But I got to go Most Def with Black on Both Sides.
We're fighting now. Those are fighting words, man.
Some of these I actually do feel bad for not picking y'all's pick. I just got to be honest, but that's just me. But our next hip hop bracket, I want to see Before the Money, and honestly, I think that would be a good one too. 1999 is fantastic, but I got to go be on both sides. So now it's one of you clowns' turn.
Yeah, what you got, Jake?
I'm sticking with my guns, man. Yeah. I know Most Def is probably going through, and it should. I think it should. I really do. Black on Both Sides is fantastic. Everything on it is tremendous. All the songs on it are really good. But 1999, it got me through life. Like, it really did help me a lot. And when music does that, it's powerful.
Yeah, that's
so
great point.
It helps me a lot. It's made me who I am. It's made me appreciate hip hop. So I'm going with 1999.
Metal. And then your pick is?
My pick is going with my pick.
Black on Both Sides. Hell yeah. Black on Both Sides moves on.
Yeah.
And we'll do a quick bracket recap before we go into the last matchup. We've got 3 Feet High and Rising going up against Haram. Actually, fuck that. I'm going to cut this. We'll be right back. I'm about to piss my fucking pants. All right. Do it. Draw a ghost.
You are a clown.
You don't want to draw a ghost?
Nope. I ain't afraid no ghost.
I ain't afraid no ghost. Well, it's about time to go through the last matchup of this second round of 32 on the Whatchu Spinnin hip hop bracket. Let's go ahead and do a fucking bracket recap first, though.
Round it back up.
We're gonna round her up. We've got 3 Feet High and Rising by De La Soul going up against Haram by Arm & Hammer. That's going to be brutal. After that, we've got Good Kid, Mad City by Kendrick Lamar going up against the classic The Score by the Fugees. After that, we've got a real knockdown drag-out between 3001 A Laced Odyssey by Flatbush Zombies going up against All Eyes on Me by Tupac. And then, just recently decided, this bout just finished up. We've got Black on Both Sides by Most Def going up against the winner of this last matchup, which is Matt's pick of
1997 album called The Art of War by Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Going up against Jacob's pick, which is
Wrath of the Math. Drew the Damage came out in 96.
Bananas matchup. This is what we call the deep cuts, kids.
Very, very close, very unique, and
these are deep cuts.
2 different ways.
Yeah.
One, you can understand most of their words. One, you can't really understand what they're saying at all. But Bone Thugs...
the Eddie Vedder of hip-hop, if you will.
Bone Thugs, they just have that cool vibe, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And just have that unique flow, even if you didn't understand their lyrics or couldn't keep up. Their beats were cool, and
Yeah.
they had that kind of an easy vibe to them for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, very much so. But I mean, Bone Thugs is Bone Thugs, man.
Yeah,
Like
and their earlier albums are good too, but I thought this one kind of captured their sound all together.
Yeah.
It was a double album, and it showcased like all their albums had like a song about weed.
Yeah.
There's a couple of those songs on here.
Yeah. All of them had a song about weed.
They have a song called The Weed Song.
Yeah, this is a very well-rounded album. And I remember coming out in '97 and buying it. And,
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's Bone Thugs, you know, iconic stuff. Incredible group going up against something that, like, I personally stumbled upon by accident, and I was very surprised to hear you bring it up, Jake, honestly, because I was like, I hadn't even thought about Jeru the Damaja in 4 years.
Bro, he's one of those guys that...
How did you... Hold on, let's go into this real quick. How did you find out about Jeru?
I got... Shout out my boy Caesar.
Hey, C's.
My boy C's.
C's.
I got put on by him on this like years ago. Like he brought up m.a.a.d. a long time ago. And that's how I found out about this. And yeah, since then I've been a fan of everything that he's done. He works a lot with Premier. This whole album is produced by Premier. Second album produced by DJ Premier on the bracket, which I feel like is kind of not fair that they were both on this side of the bracket. But it's fantastic. It's classic Premier, classic Primo. You know, you got the piano beats, the piano joints with Jeru just rapping. You know, and it's good old hip hop. It's some good old hip hop.
yeah, it's great hip hop,
Very
classic
much so.
hip hop.
And then, but it's like, for some reason, like Art of War, like, and Bone Thugs in general just sound, it's just so familiar, you know? That's why I was like, oh, but like I said multiple times, like, oh, well, it's Bone Thugs, which is, maybe it's like a personal thing, but for some reason I hear Bone Thugs and I'm like, oh yeah, like this is, it's for some reason, like I don't have any childhood or like adolescent memory connected to him, but I'm just like, I hear that, and I'm like, oh yeah. Fuck yeah. It's like comfort food, you know?
You kind of hear like the Key and Peele skit in the background.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Homeless bone.
Child.
Yeah.
Miss my Uncle Charles.
Miss my Uncle Charles. Yeah.
The amount of times. Oh, man. I wish that, like, we could, if there was, like, a way, we could probably figure it out, like, just stream us all in a chat and, like, just get on and play, like, MLB and just be bullshitting and talking. The amount of times that the fucking I miss my Uncle Charles, y'all, has been said in Xbox party chats with this motherfucker is unreal.
Good times when we were all working together. Just
Oh, yeah.
dicking around.
Oh, yeah. We would throw on Crossroads all the time. I think a couple songs off Art of War even made it on. But this is, like, such a niche, it's, like, such a weird corner of hip-hop I feel like we're in. Because how I found out about Jeru the Damaja was fucking Pandora. When I was working at the junkyard and just driving around for 10 hours a day, I was on Pandora a lot because I was discovering new music to mix with and everything. And I did, like, MF Doom radio with, like, Quasimodo added and Madlib added. And Me or the Papes, the exact song that he picked, popped up. And I was like, oh, this guy fucking rules. And then I listened to the album. I was like, yo, this kicks ass. I was like, this is sick. And then it's like that, but then Bone Thugs was like popular, but I've never heard someone come out and say, I'm a huge Bone Thugs and Harmony fan.
There's not that.
Because that's why it's like so weird. And like I said, the fact that you even brought it up was like, what the fuck? Like, how do you know about this? So I'm all over the place with this matchup. I truly don't know up from down. I didn't bring them up, so I'm going to be the one to piss one of these two off.
You are going to be the one. Yeah, I'm already pissed off with you for multiple reasons.
Friendship's over.
So if this happens, I actually might have to follow you home. And
I think if we're talking like influence and overall appeal, I mean, Jeru the Damaja is going to win. In my opinion, as opposed to Bone Thugs, or at least this album by Bone Thugs.
Yeah,
even though that is my pick. I think my overall opinion would be to push through True the Damager, based on
what it's going up against.
Yeah.
Too. I mean that either one's gonna be a hell of a matchup.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I agree with you there. I gotta push through Drew.
Mm-hmm.
Jake, you're obviously.
I think that means the landslide. I don't know.
The landslide.
But I don't know. I like that if we're talking about this a hip hop bracket. I like that it's Bone Thug is in the conversation.
Yeah, we gotta talk about it. We gotta bring it up a little bit.
Yeah.
This is a double album, great album, lots of good songs on here.
Oh yeah.
I had a couple. Well, I mean, Body Rot. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Body Rot is a banger. Clog Up Your Mind, Thug Love. On
Sit
the
back
second
and
one.
let it.
Man.
That song is a fucking earwig, dude. You hear that song, it's stuck in your head for 14 days.
So I like that pick. I love that Bone Thug is in the conversation because I think they should be. I think they. Is it Memphis? It's around there, right?
Tennessee for sure. Is it
I think it's
Tallahassee?
definitely back
That's Florida.
south, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It ain't no Outcast. I know that.
No.
For sure.
Yeah, it ain't no way. Okay.
So
There it is.
there it is. Second round of 16 is done. 3 Feet High, Haram, Good Kid, Mad City, The Score, 3001, All Eyes on Me, Black on Both Sides, Wrath of the Math,
Gee.
and Mad Villainy, AT Aliens, 36 Chambers, Low End Theory, Ready to Die, Fear of a Black Planet, Soul Food, Pray for Haiti.
Dude, that's even worse.
I don't know which side I hate more now.
That one.
That
one sucks.
I think the next cast.
You guys can do that one.
Someone's getting stabbed.
Oh, Jesus Christ, guys. Well, this has been the second episode of the Whatchu Spinnin hip hop bracket, second round of 32. We are all so stoked. Do it. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We gotta touch bills. We just don't touch bills with it. No, we will be back in about 2 weeks' time to probably go over. We thinking Sweet 16.
Yep.
The whole thing, whole Sweet 16.
Yeah.
I feel like 16 albums is perfect to kind of mimic the true length of an episode. We'll be back next time to do full round of Sweet 16 hip hop bracket here on Whatchu Spinnin. Thanks for stopping by. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell a friend. Follow us on Spotify. Send it to someone you think would like it. Be nice to somebody. Be thankful. It's fucking November. Stay cool. Or stay warm, I guess. Stay dry. Stay hydrated. Peace out. It's Dorian, Jake, and Matt. We'll catch you next time. Peace.